welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Spooky. I'm Leanna Vamp.
And I'm Ashley Junkus.
And on today's episode, we are talking about
urban legend
and cryptozoology.
Ooh.
So lots of weird shit.
Our
Spooky
favorite.
shit. Yeah. So I would say, I think the cool thing to start off with would be to talk about like urban legends that we grew up with or things that remember as kids, because I definitely know for me, Bloody Mary was like...
Which I've never heard of, by the way.
What?
No, I know the drink quite well, but I don't know.
You've never heard of the urban legend Bloody Mary?
No.
Really?
I've been living under a rock. Girl.
Yeah. So when we were kids in school, the whole basically like premise of this thing is you go with your friends. You typically didn't do it alone. It was kind of a thing that was like a dare. You get your friends together and you go into the school bathroom, because usually you were in elementary school, and you go to the mirror and you would say Bloody Mary 3 times into the mirror. And the thing was that once you say it 3 times, Bloody Mary would appear in the mirror, and basically like it could just be like a ghostly apparition that could scare you. It didn't necessarily have to like do anything to you. It could just appear, and that was scary enough. But then the extremes were like it could attack you, it could strangle you, it could steal your soul. And when I heard steal your soul, I'm like, I'm good. Peace out. No, thank you.
They didn't talk about that shit in Catholic school.
Oh.
How the hell have you never heard of Bloody Mary?
Right.
I swear to God, I've heard of everything. I've heard of like Chupacabra. I've heard of like Bigfoot. Like,
and in Catholic school, because I feel like in Catholic school that would have been like a challenge.
They didn't talk about shit. They didn't even give us like sex ed. They were just like, you know what? You just like go to sleep and you wake up and you fill out your phonics books. Like, fuck you.
Hooked on phonics.
Yeah. And Santa is real until you die.
I feel like that is like blowing my mind.
No, we didn't get it.
Bloody Mary was like, I mean, I'm a little bit older than you, but not by enough years for that still not to be a thing.
You grew up on the West Coast.
I did. And I
East
did not
Coast
go to...
is weird as shit.
Yeah, but I feel like Catholic, like, what the hell, East
They
Coast?
hide things. No, they hide things.
Yeah, they put
There's
you
so
under
many
a little
secrets.
rock.
It's bullshit.
So I never, like, we were always dared. You go in the girls' bathroom, and we had at my school a really creepy girls' bathroom. So it was like, I don't know if you ever had a school like this or went to a school like this where the sink was like a big round circular sink, and then it had like faucets that came from the center, and like just
I've seen those in movies.
It was like that, and then there was mirrors on like all of the walls. So if you're standing facing, like no matter where you are, you can. It's like photo inception. You can see like multiple angles. So it was already super creepy, and I remember friends going in and like doing it, and I refused because I was so. My mom's side of the family was very Catholic. So they're like, you don't mess with that shit. Like, don't do it. So I was so afraid. And then like steal your soul. I was like, Mary, you can stay in the mirror. I'm going to stay in class and like,
they didn't tell
do
us about
phonics.
that. They were always just like, there's like Jesus and there's a devil and you don't worship the devil, motherfucker.
And you just don't do
and
it.
like, we had that whole like idea of Bigfoot, but it was because we were living in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So like essentially we were all fucking country hicks living on these hills with like apple orchards and then these wooded forests. And you're like, oh, don't go too far in because there's these big motherfuckers, which I was like intrigued because I loved Star Wars. So I was like, it's probably Chewbacca.
It's just Chewbacca and
It's
his
just
family.
Chewie. But there were bears and there were giant beasts of creatures.
Yeah,
so
there was
like
things that were actual danger.
Yeah, that you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck with a bear. But for us, like the biggest, I guess, urban legend was Bigfoot. And that was only because we were so secluded that, you know, like there wasn't anything else. Like,
yeah, there wasn't like anything else that could have been a thing.
It's not like an urban giraffe or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a big fucking creature.
It's a big, but did you ever like, was there ever a thing in school where you like dared each other to go into the forest?
No, because
like,
no one was cool.
Oh.
Everyone was like, oh, like you must do
Everyone's
you do your
afraid.
homework and then you go to soccer and then you go home and you eat
You guys
your
were such
Lunchables.
good kids.
No, everyone sucked. I was a great kid, but I like also I was busy drawing on shit. But
Yeah, you're busy like being a creative mind. You didn't have time for
yeah,
Bloody
but that
Mary
was the
and
only
Sasquatch.
thing. And then I had heard of the Chupacabra before, but like it was like things that I would read about and not. I'd be like, that doesn't pertain to my life. Like I am.
Well, isn't like the Chupacabra? I remember hearing stories when I feel like this was all like 90s, right? Chupacabra was like in the 90s, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's like a goat blood sucking creature. And when you see I remember seeing pictures when I was a kid and I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
I don't want that.
You need some Photoshop.
We never had a goat, so I was like, there's probably like it's not going to come here because there's nothing here that it wants.
Yeah.
Like there's no like wild farm life or cows or anything that it could get blood from. And we're in a neighborhood in Pasadena, so I feel like we're pretty safe. Like I wasn't really threatened by the chupacabra.
The idea of it, though.
Yeah, I just really like saying chupacabra.
It's fine.
Chupacabra.
It's like a drink that I want to create.
I feel like it would be a tasty beverage. Another one that this is kind of one that went under the radar, and it was Dead Man Under the Bed.
I never heard of that either. I swear to God.
Actually lived under a rock.
I am 27 and I'm just living today.
I'm here to teach you.
I am today years old when I found out about these fuckers.
So Dead Man Under the Bed was an urban legend about, I believe it was a couple, and they go and stay at a hotel. And there was a very foul smelling odor when they checked into this hotel. And so they call the front desk or the concierge or whatever and like, hey, something's not right here. And the people come up, the hotel people come up and look under the bed, and there was a dead man or woman, I'm not sure, like actually under the bed. But I feel like if you walked into a hotel room and there was a dead thing under the bed, you would know.
Yeah.
Like you would
Have you ever
know.
smelled a dead man?
I haven't, but I feel like
Is there a Yankee Candle for that we can investigate?
I feel like
you
there's
know,
probably
are
like
you curious? Like you just like if you actually went into a hotel, would you actually know, or just be like, man, some guy shit the bed? Like,
no.
Would you know?
This is what would happen. You'd go into the hotel. I guess it depends on how long man has been dead under the bed. Like if he just stayed in the room before you, like he's fresh dead, you're probably not. He's not going to be too smelly. But
if said man popped a molly and then died,
and he's been there for a week,
then you would smell it.
you would walk in the room and be like, "Huh?"
If he just partied his ass off and died, you'd probably be like, oh, like I smell some halitosis.
Yeah,
but
you're like, something's not right, but this is like a 3-star hotel, so I'm probably like, it's
probably just a
it's probably
stinky
just
ass pillow.
stinky comforter.
Yeah.
But so when I heard of this, and the thing is, it's not technically a legend because that's happened a lot. Like if you actually Google,
I think that's lazy murder.
yeah. It's like I killed them in the hotel and then I didn't want to get rid of them, so I just
Put 'em under
rolled
the
them
bed.
under the bed. But most hotels actually now don't have an under the bed. They have like that metal
Oh yeah, that's
thing on
true.
the edge. So I think that, I mean, I would like to think it's so that you don't put dead people under the bed, but I think they just don't want anything under the bed.
I think cheap hotels still do it. I think boutique hotels, they're like, we don't like murder at the Ace Hotel. We will prevent that shit with high design. But I do think that, where was this originated from? Like, is this like a worldwide?
I don't know. I was like doing a little bit of research, and it was like top 25 urban
Probably
legends.
in the middle of America.
Right. And it's probably at like the shady motel in the middle of nowhere. It's not going to be
the
like
clown
a Marriott.
motel.
Yeah, the clown motel.
It's probably a guy dressed as a clown.
In like Nevada. I feel like
Yeah.
that you'd find a dead man under the bed. But after hearing about this as a kid, so to this day, anytime I go anywhere, like whether it's like going to a hotel, going to a friend's house, like
Check under the
anywhere,
bed.
I don't even just check under the bed. Even in my own house, if I've been gone for like a day, there's like a routine, and
my God.
Cameron and I will.
Do you count to 6 too?
I count to 6 as I walk in the door. But we check everything. So if we go in a hotel, I look under the bed, I go in the bathroom, I look behind the curtains. Obviously, the curtains usually don't go to the floor. So if there's something there, you would see like feet, but you never know. Like what if they're like a levitating thing behind? So I check everything because I don't want to die. And I especially don't want my story to be like, lady stays in hotel, gets murdered because she didn't check under the bed.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, just cover your bases. So it's kind of a great thing because now I feel like I'm looking out for my safety. So thank you for whoever killed the person and put them under the hotel bed, because now I feel like I'm just more like,
I don't check under the bed, but I never stick my feet out of the bed because I'm always afraid there's always going to be a hand in it that's alive.
yeah.
But
I feel like that there's an urban legend of like the creature living under the bed. Or the boogeyman. Yeah,
I
the
grew up
boogeyman
with the
for sure.
boogeyman. That's, I mean, technically that's, I don't know if it's an urban legend.
Yeah,
but
that
it's
is
like
for sure an urban legend.
Yeah, I was like, tuck me in like a burrito, motherfucker.
What?
Like I can't, I don't want to move. No, I don't even have feet right now. Mm-mm.
Was it, what was your boogeyman? Because my boogeyman was in the closet. That was my thing.
He was under the bed. That's what made me think of it. Like I was always afraid because my dad made us beds because he was good with woodworking, He made these beds with like these giant gaping gaps underneath to put all our shit.
Yeah, like storage. Yeah.
So like you could fit like 2 giant dudes under there. Like no worries. But for me, because I had such vivid dreams early on, that was the only place I could think of in my like immediate life that someone could hide and then grab me.
Yeah, that's so when I was a kid, we always like had storage under the bed. So I made it a point to put things to fill under the bed. So if it was like I had like a soccer ball or a doll or whatever, I would put it in a box because the box would take, like if you threw the doll under the bed, it still could like wrap around the doll. It could like curl around the doll and hide under the bed.
I put all my ugly clothes, like my Aeropostale. I had an Aeropostale moment where I like bought the jumpsuits and then I was like, these monkey pants, they can go under the fucking bed. All 10 pairs.
So if you get nothing from this episode, just really like be aware of your surroundings. It doesn't have to be supernatural. It could just be a man.
Yeah, it could
be. A murderer.
I mean, so
or a woman.
Well, when I was younger too, we were in a neighborhood where someone, if they knocked on the door, you would open it. I feel like now we're not at that place anymore. Nope. But like now that's scary to me. I'm like, I don't want to fucking open my door.
If someone knocks on my door, I'm like, who are you? How do you know where I live? It's usually just Amazon, but I still am worried because you don't open the door. Like if you don't have a peephole, you wait for that person to leave and like.
Yeah. The millennial Bigfoot right now is opening the door for someone you don't know and answering the phone. It's just like, they're fucking scary.
Oh my God, the phone rings and people are like, oh my God,
No!
how dare you call me?
Fear. Like, how did you find me?
Yeah. We're in a very strange world, people, but we are just sharing our thoughts and feelings. So you feel comfortable with it.
Warm and fuzzies.
Oh, Bloody Mary too. So we actually went to eat at a restaurant last night. It was a Thai place. And we went into the bathroom. And have you ever gone into like, it's usually in gas stations where they take the mirrors off the wall.
What?
But you can see, like, say they painted the wall and they remove the mirror, you can see where the mirror would have gone.
Yeah.
And every time I go into a place that a mirror has been removed, immediately I think of like, dude, they were like messing around with some Bloody Mary shit in here and they had to take the mirror down because shit went wrong. So like I went in that bathroom and I was peeing and I was so uncomfortable. I was like, I need to hurry up because weird shit happened in this bathroom. I can tell. It was like a Thai restaurant. Like nothing weird probably happened.
I wonder if
in
the
there.
drink is, not to sound like an alcoholic, I'll keep going back to the drink. I wonder if the drink is named after that or if it's just like a coincidence.
I actually don't. Is it? Cameron's nodding his head over in the corner. It's blood. Bloody Mary. It looks like blood.
We should have had Bloody Marys today.
We should have had Bloody Marys. But I didn't know that you'd never heard of it.
No,
so
I suck. No, I just haven't lived.
You have not lived.
Oh.
Okay, so we talked about this before, but we haven't been doing it. The whole thing is what would you do? Say that you encounter these urban legends or like say you saw Sasquatch or you saw Bloody Mary. Like what do you think your reaction would be?
I think it would be different because with the Bloody Mary thing, now that I know what it is, I'm like not down with that. I feel like Sasquatch, because I have this direct reaction to Chewbacca being like, I'd like to give you a warm hug. I don't know, like if he didn't look terrorizing, I feel like he has that like almost Michael Myers effect on me where I'm like, you're just big and you need a hug. Like you're like moseying around.
You have a fascination with like the
I
big
do. I just feel like there's a lot of people who don't have warm hugs. And I feel like Sasquatch is alone and that's why he hides. He comes out and he's like, what the fuck, guys? And
I
then
feel
he
like
hides.
he's misunderstood. He's like, I'm stuck in this forest.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid of me. I just want love and hugs and snacks and nobody's giving it to me.
He probably smells like a wet dog though.
He does.
But if I were to see him,
Febreze him first.
if I were to see him from afar, I would definitely buy a better iPhone because mine sucks. But
you need to upgrade that shit.
I wouldn't ever want to bring gear that's so invasively big. Like even a DSLR, I feel like they would freak out.
Or like the sound or the flash or
having like a little thing, like even a GoPro strapped to my body.
Yeah,
I would just like pull it out and be like, hello. But
well, I think that's kind of like I feel like. In the age of technology, that's partially our duty because there's so many things that people are like, oh my God, I saw Sasquatch, I saw a ghost, I saw this, I saw that. Bitch, you had a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had a camera phone and you didn't think, and I get in the moment, like you would freak out. You probably wouldn't be thinking, hey, let me record this. Or like, hey, let me save my own life.
Yeah.
We went to Montana to visit some family and we went, it was like -4 degrees. It was freezing out. Ugh. And we went snowshoeing. So we were out kind of by like Glacier National Park and it's beautiful. It's freezing. Like, don't get me wrong. It is so cold where it's painful, But once you're out and moving, you're like, okay, it's bearable as long as you keep moving. Once you stop, you're like, I'm going to turn into a popsicle and die. But we're on this like back trail and there's marked trails. But then we saw this kind of like side trail that didn't really look like there was a lot of footsteps or like snowshoe steps or like, let's go this way. That looks kind of cool. And it's a little bit more secluded. And then as we're walking on it, we see tracks and they were wolf tracks. And we're like, a little bit of danger, never hurt anyone. Like it's fine. There's a lot of us. If there's a wolf that comes out, it'll be fine. So we're like going back and we look on the map and we're thinking this trail is going to circle back to the main trail. So if we just go through it, we'll get to the main one and we can go back. As we continue going, it's like we're going for a really long time and we're not getting to where we can kind of get off that trail. So everyone's kind of like getting a little nervous. Like there's wolf tracks. We should probably turn around. And, my brother-in-law was in front and Cameron and I are kind of towards the back and there's just this giant thing. It was too far out. There was too many trees in front of us. So you couldn't really tell what it was. And it was just it was just very big and dark and brown. And immediately I probably peed myself a little bit, but it was so cold. It would have like frozen anyway. So it didn't really happen, but I panicked and all I could think, I was like, that's fucking Sasquatch. It turned out to be, was it a moose or a deer?
Mooses are
moose,
crazy,
but
big.
Immediately I'm just thinking like, I'm going to run, but I have snowshoes on. So it's not like I can get away. And then I'm thinking the worst, like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to sacrifice
Because in the moment
for the
you
group.
go into fight or flight.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't think like, oh, like let me get this on my Instagram story.
No, I had gloves, my hands were frozen. My phone actually froze because it was so cold it turned off.
Yeah.
So there would have been like, there's been nothing that I could do. But immediately, like my mind didn't go, this says a lot about who I am as a person, didn't go to logic, like maybe it's a wild animal. I was like, no, it's Sasquatch. Everybody run.
We found the missing leg.
I wish it was, but it was just like a moose. And it was a freaking huge moose.
Yeah, I dealt with a moose. So when I was in New Hampshire and I was learning driver's ed, I learned how to park in a parking lot of a grocery store. And I was backing up and in my rearview mirror, I saw a fucking moose. And I just looked at the guy teaching me. I'm like, what do I do if there's a moose in my spot? Because it's so massive.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a dinosaur.
Yeah, you don't realize how big something is until you see it in real life. And you're like, oh, good Lord, what do you do? So I get that whole like panic. But I would hope that in the moment I would be smart enough to be like, camera phone.
Let's train. Let's find like CrossFit, but like they come at you with weight balls and they're dressed as Sasquatch. I'm like, what are you going to do now, bitch?
How do you react?
Yeah. They yell at
like
you.
a training course for like aliens and Sasquatch.
yeah.
And that's actually really smart.
Like
because
a tall gray. And then they play like movie soundtracks in the back to get you pumped up. And they're like playing like, I don't know, like Inception. And they're like, no, you're going to die.
it's really just preparation for like the end of the world. Because when that happens.
Or like tomorrow.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, like we don't know.
Life is very stressful. You just never really know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like outside there's crazy sounds happening. I don't really know, but we're safe.
We're safe in here.
in our
Cameron's
box.
stomach's growling, but we don't know what's going on. There's aliens in there. But yeah, like there is this weird, and I dealt with it a lot because I am heavily interested in the Loch Ness Monster. So there was always this thing where they were like, oh, it like dates back centuries. And I'm like, maybe Sasquatch is like this prehistoric, very scarce creature that is just so unrelated to how we live now that it does hide. And like it just doesn't want to be bothered with our millennial bullshit.
So I have a huge fascination with Sasquatch because I think that it's really cool that people with any kind of like cryptozoology, anything, Sasquatch, Loch Ness, aliens, urban legends, when you have people all around the world that have no connection to each other, experiencing the same things or talking about the same things, I think now it's a little bit different because say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't have the internet is heavily like in our lives as we do now. So for people to be explaining, seeing things in different parts of the world that have no connection to each other, there's something to be said about that. And there's no like solid, I would say, evidence. A lot of these things like actual, it could be put in a history book, solid evidence. It's more like what people have recalled seeing or being a part of. But I find it fascinating more so the stories that you would read about decades ago than the things you hear now, because now with technology, everything can be faked.
Yeah. And I think like even not having digital photography of these like creatures, I do find it interesting that a lot of these creatures are almost indicative of things that were in folklore, where it'd be like Norway or in Scandinavian folklore, and like anywhere, you know, back in like for the Loch Ness Monster, the first sighting, which they don't have photos, obviously, it was like in 526, like AD. And they described a Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. And so like you think like, yeah, like maybe there is this type of creature out there, but also you have so many people who grow up thinking about those things. They're like, maybe over time they like in their head, they're like, we're going to find it or we're going to fake it.
You've manifested this thing.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it exists. Yeah. Oh, it's a thing. And that's like, I was watching this documentary recently about Loch Ness, Scotland, and Nessie, they call it. And they were saying like, oh, like, is he real? I don't know. But regardless, it bumps our tourism up. Yeah. And it's this thing where you look at things like when I was living in Seattle, there was so much Sasquatch like merch. Yeah. And it's like it's so like they pump it up. They're like, ooh,
like in
great.
The airport, we got like Sasquatch magnets, socks, for everything. Sure.
But you're like, okay, like what is left for this specific place to like put this mysterious, like, could there be more aspect to it? Because other than that, you're like, there's mountains.
It's been commercialized to the point where it's like now a joke. And I think that's what sucks is like things get to the point where they become like popular and people start making fun of it. Yeah. And like to me, if I was Sasquatch, I'd be like, hey guys, like I get it, but I'm not a joke. I'm real.
Yeah. Or just come out, but maybe he doesn't like people. Like I don't like people. I don't go out much anymore.
I don't like people, but one of my favorite things, Sasquatch related, I'm a fan of beef jerky.
I hate beef jerky.
Well, I like beef jerky.
Please don't make me eat beef jerky.
I'm not gonna make you eat beef jerky, but Jack Link's jerky, how they did like their whole Sasquatch campaign, and
I've never seen it.
What? So they essentially just do like this whole it's like a campaign around their beef jerky, but it's based on like Sasquatch, finding Sasquatch. Sasquatch is angry, hungry. He gets the jerky. It's like
the Snickers commercial.
Yeah, like what is it? Are you cranky? Whatever.
Yeah.
Have a Snickers.
Are you a bitch? Eat a Snickers.
Are you being a bitch? Have a Snickers. But the coolest thing was for Valentine's Day. I think I got this for Cameron, or I probably just got it for myself. But it was like a Valentine's heart candy box, but it had Sasquatch on it, and you open it up, and it was full of beef jerky, and I was like, Jack Links, you get me. It made me so happy.
You know what? I did choke on beef jerky, so that's probably why I hate it.
Caterpillars.
Yeah, it's just not a good.
I'm going to start the mental list.
Like dry, small objects, not a fan.
You know what would help that? Chewing. No,
because it's the pressure of thinking what's in my mouth.
It's too much. You're like, I just want to be able to enjoy something without having to contemplate it.
I'm just like not going to have you feed me anything and then I'll be okay.
I mean, I feel like you could think that, but it's kind of part of our thing now. So for the people.
And I still haven't contributed, which I apologize. I want to make something so vile.
I said,
disgusting.
I promised on audio and video that I will eat anything you make. I said it too. I didn't really mean that, but I said it. So
I know. I found a Pinterest. It's like a dark hole that I feel like, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but it's up next time.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to be like really gross things on Pinterest that Ashley might make me eat.
Don't find me on Pinterest. It might be a public board.
I won't. I'm going to I want the element of surprise because I feel like that's better. But I'm not making you eat things for the sake of like putting you through misery. I'm just, because I have to do it too.
It's adventure, like finding Sasquatch. You're like, ooh, for the thrill, I'm gonna swallow this bitch ass bug.
Yeah, it's really for like the enjoyment of the viewers.
Well, I like to like when I'm feeling an awkward silence in conversations or meetings now, people will just look me dead in the eyes and I'm like, did you know that I ate a bug? And they're like, the fuck? And I'm like, sign the contract. And they bust out of there.
They're like, oh, I better sign the contract or something weird's gonna happen.
And I ate it on a nugget.
It was really good. And we ate it in cookies.
Yeah, we did. We're elevating ourselves.
We are.
I feel like we're on Top Chef. But Tom Colicchio is not proud. But he doesn't have to know.
He doesn't have to. And also, like, chef is a very strong word to use in this situation.
It's like we're like the low budget 99 cents. We're like, sheesh.
If it's not on Amazon, it isn't going to get delivered to my door. Like, let's be real right now. We're not going to make it.
Yeah. I
'Cause-
do think we should have a goth cooking show though.
I mean, I'm
eventually.
down with cooking like dark, creepy things.
I think we should do
Creepy
I think
treats, man.
On a show, a future show, we will, and I will partake and I will eat these things.
Okay.
If you've seen those viral videos where they make very small snacks.
I love those.
Like we have,
things.
like we can make little hot dogs out of maggots, and that I think is a little more acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll eat it if it's tiny.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to find tiny bugs.
That's on our list.
She'll eat maggots. That's pretty bold.
Wait, you said
Didn't we
maggots? Did you say the word maggots?
Well, whatever
Love on maggots.
what the fuck were those things called that we ate last time?
They were mealworms.
Oh, no, I don't want to eat a maggot. Fuck that shit. I
You
don't
said
know
it,
my
though.
bugs. No.
You said it. The rule is
No.
if you say it on the recording in the camera, it has to have.
That's the part we edit out.
That's-
darling.
Hey, he's the editor, so if he keeps it in, you're gonna have to make a deal with that guy over there,
Fuck.
or else maggots are getting Amazon delivered to the door. So, okay, there was one thing on Amazon, and I'm not gonna tell anyone what it is, but Cameron and I showed him, and he was like, "Oh hell no!" So now I feel like I have to order it because it could be like a whole episode of us just trying to eat really it's really gnarly.
I feel like those jelly beans last time fucked me up.
I had nightmares about those jelly beans.
They're in my junk drawer. You know that drawer
They
everyone
should be in
has
the
with all the
trash.
shit in it? I've got bills and fucking jelly bellies.
And
in
you
there
have
now.
the soap.
Tastes like dog breath.
What I really want to understand, we're on such a crazy tangent, but I like where it's going. How do you make dirty socks a flavor?
And then what's the board meeting that everyone's sitting there and they all have the bean in the fucking petri dish and they eat it and they're like, yeah, this tastes like how that would taste.
There's a team. There's a team that has to develop it. They have to taste test it. They have to
approve
conversate
it.
about it. Dirty socks, that's just
And
fucked
how much
up.
are they getting paid by the hour? Because you know
I
what?
don't know. I wouldn't have, if they were I'm going to pay you $100 an hour to eat these for 8 hours a day, I'd be like, nope.
But toothpaste was real good.
Toothpaste, but only because it was the only thing that tasted, it was minty.
Yeah.
It was the
The next day I woke up and I brushed my teeth. I was like, I might swallow this shit.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Reminiscing right now.
Oh, I ordered on
Which
Amazon.
is toxic. Don't do that.
Don't
Keep
eat
going.
toothpaste.
No.
Don't. We're not promoting
Nope.
eating toxic things. But it came in a 3-pack. So I have I sent you home with yours. I have mine
Yeah.
that's open and then I still have a new one. So I think that when we have our next guest, we'll make them eat
Make
it.
them suffer.
Yeah. Because we've done our
We did our part. We're good. We're not, we're not perfect here.
So do you want to talk a little bit more about I know you have a lot of Loch Ness things.
My Loch Ness shit.
I have some Sasquatch things, and then we can break to your favorite part of the
No,
show.
I don't want to do that. But I'm going to talk a little bit. I already kind of spieled out most of my information because I'm obsessed. If anyone knows me, I'm obsessed with sea creatures
But
and
yeah, you
marine
have to
biology.
say how you got to this because it's a very
I don't
interesting.
know.
You said whales though.
Well, yeah, no, I fucking love whales, but who doesn't? But I just don't know why I'm so obsessed.
You just said that. Everybody loves whales.
Well, it's when
I love whales too.
it's like when people become astronauts and you're like, well, why the fuck do you like that? And they're like, I don't know. It's like my fucking job in life. I just fucking love when I used to go to the ocean as a child and I could only go 4 feet without freaking out and I wanted to go in more, but I was like, no.
So you loved it, but you're afraid
I love
of it.
the idea of what lives beneath the depths, but I also am really fucking into dinosaurs. And it has such a correlation because there was this thing and it just came out March 29th, 2019, 3 weeks ago. Not that I'm obsessed, but there was this guy.
a
little bit. There was this kid in Australia and he was on a fishing boat and he was fishing. And obviously they have big equipment, so he's not catching guppies and shit.
Yeah.
They pull up half of a shark that is estimated to be at 550 pounds, and it was bit in half. Not disintegrated, something bit it in half, and it's massive.
What, a great white?
Or a big fucking shark.
Okay.
Just big. When you see the photo, if you want to Google it, it's crazy.
Megalodon? If it was Megalodon, that
Well,
would be
they're
the
saying,
shit.
they're like, what giant creature lives so beneath that ocean that could just chomp that bitch in half because it's so
Yeah.
huge in one bite. So for me, I'm always thinking, I'm like, one, dinosaurs, we still don't know everything. There's probably prehistoric creatures that are living beneath the depths.
for sure.
Yeah. And that fascinates
sure.
me because I loved Jurassic Park, the nerd that I was. But so from
That you are.
from that point on, I was
yeah.
just like, dinosaurs aren't living right now. But my closest relative to such things are beneath the ocean.
Yeah. That
Should
could still, prehistoric creatures could still be living.
they're
We don't have the
finding-
technology to get down there and see it.
And they're finding new shit every day. And,
Yeah.
and like, so that led me to really being interested in the Loch Ness Monster. And then living on the East Coast, there was always like that idea potentially of one on Lake Champlain, which was in between Vermont and New York. And so there was...
But correct me if I'm wrong, Loch Ness was like a UK thing,
In
right?
Scotland.
In Scotland.
Yeah.
So it's not
It was
necessarily a
literally-
thing that should
no.
be, that was cited ever here.
But people are so fucking stupid. They're like, no, it's in Vermont.
Yeah.
'Cause
You
it had-
never know. Loch Ness
you
could
never
have
know.
distant relatives.
So in the back of my head, I was like, oh, that's very close. Like I could find a dinosaur. So that always fueled me to like want to know more about the Loch
Yeah.
Ness Monster, even though it wasn't something I grew up with innately. It was like a fascination. But when I was watching this documentary recently, and they were talking about that iconic photo that was taken in 1934 of like the head coming out of the water in black and white.
And it's like that, like
Yep.
arch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And this Netflix documentary in particular, it was called History's Greatest Hoaxes.
Okay.
So essentially, what they were saying was a guy came out stating that that was actually a prototype for a submarine. And he like showed the prototype and it had like this almost head-like thing,
Yeah.
but that was how it floated.
Huh.
And they proved that to be accurate. And then when they re-looked at the photo, they said you could almost see string lines to where they were like where it was, and
Yeah.
the actual size of the waves looked in what's it called? In size ratio to
Yeah.
what it would have been for a tiny submarine toy.
to be, yeah.
So
yeah.
technically they were like that would disprove the entire theory of that being like the iconic shot.
The
but
actual image.
but in reality, they were saying that thousands of people would see something. And the
Yeah.
whole kind of mystery was like, do people go to Loch Ness, Scotland because they want the thrill of finding this mysterious creature that people are trying to capture? And so they see things that they want to see, but it might be a whale or it might be a giant
Right.
giant
You justify it.
Yeah.
It's like seeing, I don't know, like getting a red car.
Yeah.
And then because you have a red car, you notice all the other people that had red cars. But if you didn't have a red car before, it's not something you're not looking for it. So you're not going to notice it.
Yeah.
And I think with like, you're talking about the whole ocean thing, I believe it's like about only 5% is like
30.
that we've discovered.
Yeah.
So imagine only 5%. Like there is so much more ocean that we just physically don't have the technology to get down to. So the fact that there could be all sorts of crazy shit down there.
And all the things that sunk. Like there's
Yeah.
probably so much history and like bones and like weird fucking minerals and this is why I can't sleep at night. Honestly, I'm just like,
You're like,
what's
what
in
is
the
in the
ocean?
ocean?
Like I might have smoked a joint once or twice and thought about it too and be like, what's in the ocean? But like in my coherent self, I also
Yeah.
it drives me crazy more than aliens.
I love the ocean, but I also am afraid of the ocean. Like I've tried surfing a couple of times and I rode like one good wave.
That's what I want
solid
to
in.
learn.
And I was like so cocky and I was like, oh my God, this is what the hype's about. This is so easy. And then for the next hour I got like pummeled.
Yeah.
But the ocean has always terrified me because I don't know.
There's a lot of shit in there.
You can't
Literally.
see, like there is a lot of shit in the ocean. But you can't, if there's something that I can't see below me, the idea, my mind just goes crazy. And I'm like, there's tentacles that are just going to wrap up and swallow me whole.
I
or,
was
you
that
know.
child that when a wave came and a seaweed blob hit me, I was like, and I would run and I'm like, gonna make a sandcastle now because fuck this shit.
Because I'm out of the ocean now. So I think for me, my biggest fascination besides aliens is definitely Sasquatch. And I feel like I've made that very clear. I love me some Sasquatch. And one show that I watched is no longer on TV. It was on Destination America and it's called Mountain Monsters. And if you have watched the show, you understand probably a lot about me. Because it is, I guess it's not technically reality TV. It's very much filmed like reality TV, but it's a group of
White trash.
yes, men in the Appalachian Mountains, and their group is called AIMS, and I don't want to misquote what AIMS stands for. I said it to you earlier. Where is it in my notes? Okay, the Appalachian Investigators of Mysterious Sightings, AIMS. They have a very official name. So essentially, it's these group of guys that go to different foresty, woodsy, mountainy destinations searching for Sasquatch. But it is not just like there is one Sasquatch and you're trying to find one Sasquatch. Everywhere they go, there's a different breed of Sasquatch. So each episode opens up and there is like a military kind of looking description where it's like a drawing of the Sasquatch. It has like their characteristics, their attributes, what they would do, where they would be found, what they look like. So it's very like it opens up and you're like, oh shit, that guy looks scary. And they all have names. So it's not like it's just like his name's Bill. Like there's different kinds of Sasquatches. So like there'll be like the grass man, the shadow creature, the Cherokee death cat.
I want to know what the grass man is.
I would love to know. It is a whole lot of BS.
Is it still available online?
It is still, I think you can still watch episodes on the internet. I don't know. I mean, it's not.
Let's bring it back. Let's find the guys.
Let's do it. Like, let's go find Sasquatch. But it's super fascinating to me that they've had, I think, 5 or 6 seasons of not finding anything. Like they almost find it. My favorite character, his name's Trapper, and he's obviously the Trapper, but he's so crazy and he says the craziest shit all the time. And they almost find something, but then, oh my God, the camera got knocked over or it's blurry. And I feel like we could do Mountain Monsters way better.
Because our production quality is high
like
as shit.
Tippy top.
Yeah.
And I feel like we'll be real. Like if there's nothing, there's nothing. But we're going to try to find Sasquatch. We're going to try to find
as long as
the
I
Loch
get to
Ness.
wear rubber pants. I don't give a shit.
What do they call those rubber? I said this, Cameron. What do they call the rubber pants that you waders?
I want some waders.
Waders, and I want like a hat. Like our wardrobe all black though.
All black.
All black. And then like a mosquito net because we talked about the bugs. I'll get eaten alive by mosquito.
Juicy.
Yeah. So I feel like this show has to happen. It's going to be a show within a show.
And those rubber pants, we can like put stickers on, like decals, because we're like little bumper cars in the night. And we're like, ooh, we're going to catch the Sasquatch.
And it'll be a lot of night vision because we go out at nighttime. I think it's a
good
great
thing
idea.
I'm blind.
I would watch that show.
I would too. Somebody
I feel like
make it happen.
I feel like if enough people watched Mountain Monsters and kept that on for 5 seasons, like our show would be on.
What do we call
longer.
it? Hill bitches?
Oh.
With Mountain Monsters is like
oh
iconic.
My God. And we would make like funny names for each of the monsters, but like Loch Ness would have, I don't know, it would be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be good shit. Mountain Monsters always had like the grass man.
Yeah.
And I forget there was one, he was like the red-tailed blah, blah, blah. Like it was such a convoluted name. And then in one episode, they get abducted. And I'm like, I don't know.
By Sasquatch?
I don't know. Like, I remember watching it and it ended.
You
and
sure
I was
they
like,
didn't break for craft services?
Oh, the witch in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a witch in the woods, and then they get abducted, and there's like this weird house in the woods that they're in, and they're like tied to chairs. Like,
I think they were having an orgy. Let's be real. Or they were eating snacks.
Probably. They're like, we're hungry. Let's get abducted so we can go like have our Jack Link's jerky in the murder shed in the forest. I mean, but I can sit here and say like how awful and terrible, but my ass watched that show. Like I would DVR that and I'd be like, oh my God, I have 5 episodes of Mountain Monsters. Let me watch this.
I have many shows that I've done that. I'm like, that was a waste of my life. But
was it really? Because at a certain point, you need to shut the mental.
That sounds good. I am horrified that I watched any episodes of 19 and Counting with the Duggars and all that shit. I was
what
like,
is that?
It's like that family that has like 20 kids and they're just like, more. And they're crazy. That's a different kind of.
That is a horror movie.
That's a horror movie.
19 children?
Yeah. But
Jesus.
There are certain things where it sucks you in. Like the History Channel does that. Like fucking TLC and Little People Big World. I'm like, it's a bunch of people on a farm.
History and Travel, though, do really cool. And I'm sure you probably stumbled upon them, but they're like urban legends or like hoaxes or like not unsolved mysteries, but like those kind of weird, wacky things. We watched one the other night and there was this big, giant thing in the ocean. And I feel it was definitely in another country. And it was...
Was it living?
No, it was dead.
Fuck.
But they don't know what it was. I forget what the show was called. Mysteries Unexplained or something weird, but it was like a giant gelatinous squid octopus. Like you couldn't really tell what it was. It was like a big round part on the end, and there was this really long tentacle, but it looked almost like elephant skin. It was very white, like the color was very white because it's probably decaying.
That sounds like an enlarged semen. Shit.
It looked like, but it was so giant. And there's a guy out there like poking it with a stick, and they're like, we don't know what it is, but in another language.
Yeah.
There was
And
like,
it washed
subtitles. It washed up. So it was like right on the beach, but they never, I feel like those shows too, obviously someone tested it. I'm sure like scientists came out and tested it, but then found out that it was something lame, and then they're not going to say it was something lame.
I think the Kraken is real. I feel like
for sure.
Yeah.
He's one of those deep
I feel
depth-
like the Kraken is like the Bermuda Triangle's bay.
Oh, yeah.
And like we lose those planes because the Kraken like is like, come to me. And it's like, yes.
takes you from the sky.
Yeah, his big ass arms goes. Blah, blah, blah.
I also watch, I don't know if you watch Mysteries at the Museum.
It's the only show I skip over on the Travel
Really?
Channel,
It's
which
so
is
good though.
I should probably.
It's
I'm
just
busy.
more of like an it's like, I think a lot of the things that you find yourself attracted to, especially when you're busy, like, and we're both really busy, you put things on in the background so that you can multitask.
Yeah.
So I feel like Mysteries at the Museum is more of a thing like you need to pay attention to because it's teaching you actual like history. Whereas a lot of the other is like garbage, like Mountain Monsters, that's garbage TV. It's something to just like have on while you do other things because it's
like
not,
Duck Dynasty.
Exactly. You're not really like walking away from that show like my life is enriched.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Added to my queue of 10,000 things.
I think now
Oh, fuck.
it is time for Creepy Treats, which I know is your favorite.
Actually, I
part of
don't
each
think there's
episode.
enough room on the table, so we're good.
You know
We don't
what's
have to do
great? You know what's
Nope.
super great? Is we have a couch. So I'm going to set
No.
my microphone down because I
You
need to
told
grab-
me.
So before we started, Ashley walks in and she's like, I don't have to eat any weird shit, right? And I was like, no.
Yeah,
and then
'cause
she was distracted and I said, maybe.
You distracted me with pepperoni pizza, which is so rude.
I did.
I don't like
It's
this.
because I love you. I wanted you to be fed. Okay, so I'm going to grab my microphone back.
I can't. I don't have enough free hands because this one.
I think this one's going to require a little bit of assembly because I...
Oh fuck my life.
Let me take this off.
No! Oh my god! No!
Just calm down.
No! I saw this on.
You saw it on what?
Wait. Well.
You saw it on what?
Oh no! This isn't it. Okay, I saw a guy.
Oh, shit. I thought the... Never mind.
Wait. Let me see.
It is
Chocolate covered grass.
chocolate-covered grasshoppers. I actually thought they were chocolate-covered crickets, so I didn't...
No, I don't want to do this.
We're
But
doing
no,
it together.
disclaimer. There was a no. We're not.
Yes, we are.
There was a guy who was eating a tarantula.
I saw that too. Did
Yeah,
you see the girls
and he
that
was
were
in the
making like
car.
tarantula soup?
Yeah. Fuck
And I was
that
like,
shit.
who are you people? I have a tarantula. That I don't agree
I have
with
a
that
pet
at all.
grasshopper, and I'm very offended right now.
You are a liar.
I have.
Look at it. It comes in a cute little
You're
jar
a liar.
too.
You told me.
You know what? To be fair, I thought this was something else. So we're gonna open it. Ooh, look! It comes with a. I like little containers, so I'll keep that for later. Oh, there's just like a cheap. There's like not even. There's only 3. They're covered in chocolate, so really, how bad could it be?
2.5 of them are all yours, girl.
You just have to. Oh, there's 4.
Oh,
so you can
fuck
have
my
this one.
life.
Looks like a penis, a little bit.
My favorite. Oh,
There you
it
go.
does.
Oh, it's a little grasshopper. Because grasshoppers are usually
It
like.
does look like one.
It looks like a turd, a penis-shaped
Wow.
turd. Okay.
I don't want to do this. I don't even know where his head is.
Oh, it doesn't. Like, why is it?
it doesn't look kosher.
It does not look. Does that look like a grasshopper to you?
It looks like a turd.
He's like, I don't.
He's
where are
smashed in
no,
there
they have like
somehow.
little legs. Maybe they delegged them because it just looks like it's like
Well, wait, give me the
Abdomen.
bag. Let me see.
it's chocolate though. It's melting. I mean, yeah, it
Ingredients
just looks like
are
a dried up thing on the inside
dehydrated grasshoppers, sugar,
and chocolate.
vegetable fat, cocoa powder, emulsifier,
I don't know what that does.
villains. I'm allergic to emulsifiers. I can't do
You're
this.
a liar. Just
Let me see.
yeah. See, I broke that one in half. Do I have to?
Oh no, I don't want to do it.
What? Just do it. This one looks like they all.
I don't want to do
This
it.
one just looks like a worm. Come on.
You do it first.
Okay. It was like, okay, fine. Can you hear that? Oh, my microphone.
How's it taste?
It tastes like chocolate.
Kind of looks like a
Well, crunchy. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a Kit Kat.
Does it?
Yeah. I would say the Kit Kat chocolate is much better tasting, but it's
I would assume so.
Oh.
I'm just like preparing myself. I'm like,
it totally tastes like a Kit Kat.
Would you be proud of me, Mama?
I would be so proud of you.
If I just ate this booty real
I would
quick?
I would be so proud of you. Like it's not.
Ah!
You are. That doesn't. What is it? It's the. So when I didn't say it, but when you get like you crunch through the chocolate because it's like melty, and then there's like little pockets of like
Don't say it.
grasshopper. There's like little air, so when you bite it, it kind of like poofs out the like dust in your mouth. I was like, oh, it's delicious. Are you blowing bubbles in your drink?
It's stuck in my teeth.
Oh, I mean, I would say that the chocolate is like that was all of the emotion. I'm gonna eat the rest of hers.
Oh God, I hope no one ever sees this.
Are
you proud of me?
I'm very proud of you.
Because I'm dying inside.
It doesn't. I would have to say that
That's not good chocolate.
it's kind of like the Russell Stover chocolate of like Valentine's Day chocolate. What did I do with the bag? Oh, it's right here.
I stole it.
So this company, I believe that I found, this is Echo Eat. You can find it on Amazon.
You don't have to find it though. It's okay.
But
We
you
won't
can.
judge you.
They do all sorts of other things that are covered in chocolate. And I think this is like, we really should have led with covered in chocolate first. Because I feel like it's a very introductory way to eat things.
You can cover anything in chocolate and I'll pretty much eat it, but I don't know about this.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle.
Here's this penis one for you. You can
We
save
have
that
two.
for
We'll put them
tonight.
back in the cute little jar. Oh, I feel like when we have our guests, they're gonna have. Oh, is that cricket or is
Makes
that
me
or
really
grasshopper?
I'm sorry for anyone who thought of me at a high pedestal because this is the reality of me.
You know what? Everybody burps, and it's just a way to relieve pressure in your
relieve
body.
The shit you just put into your mouth.
I mean, I feel like we really wrapped it up with eating bugs.
We did. I'm on the verge of tears, so I think that's it.
I don't know that I necessarily have any other. I feel like the only other cryptozoology thing that I always want to talk about is aliens.
Still something in my mouth.
I know they're stuck in my teeth. My favorite thing was when I ate the cricket and it like coughed out a leg.
That's ooh.
It was great. But I think that we can always circle back to aliens because there's so much. You have a friend that's like really into aliens too.
Yeah, we're gonna
so
have some more alien.
We're gonna have to do
things.
another alien.
I have two friends
chat
because I'm very popular.
You know, we need all of your friends, and we need to talk about creepy things. I'm gonna move this plate out of the way.
Yeah, please do. Gross.
But I think, is there anything else that we want to do? Any other cryptozoology things?
I have nothing left to say.
I don't really have any other urban legends. I feel like there's so many that you can just kind of go down the rabbit hole, but nothing else that really like affected me personally besides Bloody Mary, which I still cannot believe you've never heard of. But that's what I'm here for.
I suck.
I'm here to let you know that some things are not alcoholic beverages. They are other things too.
Okay, well now I know.
Now you know. And next time we'll celebrate with a Bloody
I'm
Mary
gonna
and it'll
Google
make sense.
if an old fashioned is really just an old man that hides under your bed at night.
And is going to murder you and has very great fashion. He's like very dapper.
He's got a pipe
when you have a pipe,
and
you're
an
official.
orange peeled and ready.
And I think that will do it for us on this episode of Let's Get Spooky. I'm Leanna Vamp.
And I'm Ashley Jonkus.
And you can watch the video of this episode at letsgetspooky.com. You can also download the podcast on iTunes and listen on Spotify. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time, Fiends. Don't forget to stay spooky.